You're watching to see if it's live. It says we're live.
I'm pulling it up.
If you notice my background, it's Presser Recital Hall.
I kept looking at it going, what is that?
See, isn't it lovely? Oh, I can remember those days.
Oh, it brings back such great memories.
And some bad ones too. Anyways, anyways. All right. So, hey, look, we got people live already. Hi, Dustin. Hey, so welcome to Coffee Conversations number 47, which we really don't have numbers. I'm just making stuff up. And
I'm
today,
actually surprised that we've been going pretty numerically for the most part.
yeah, until you told me to put 8 million on somebody.
Yeah.
So I did, because I do what I'm told. So we are here today with Kristi Prucha from New Philadelphia area school districts. She's the high school choir director there. And yeah, so we thought we'd have her come along today and talk to us a little bit about that. Kristi and I go back a couple years. We actually went to college together at Mount Union, which is now the university. But it will always be muck to us, I'm sure. And which you might not know is my daughter is matriculating. Ooh, look at that word. There next year.
Wow, that's awesome.
She is going to Mount if they have school. And
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah, she is going to study foreign affairs at Mount Union. Actually, that whole thing they did right after college when they were doing that Camp Macaw during homecoming, where they were brainwashing the kids.
Clearly it worked.
It did work. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, one of my three were like, when she went over to visit, she's like, yeah, this is like home. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. If you want to go here, that's great. So she's going to be going there in the fall. And we were thinking about it this morning about the fact that I don't know what that looks like, right? Because we don't know what anything looks like right now, right?
Right.
So because she's going to be in McMaster, because that's where freshmen are.
Yeah.
And they have air conditioning now.
Oh, I wish they'd have had that when I lived in McMaster.
I know. So yeah, they didn't have air conditioning anywhere. But yeah, but how do you put somebody in a room with somebody they don't know?
Right.
Socially distanced. So that's going to be an interesting game there. So, but you know, that's what's going on in my life. So how is your quarantine going?
Oh, buddy, I can't even tell you how exciting it is around here. You know, just lots of laundry and online learning and tears and you know, I have a daughter who's a junior and a daughter who's an 8th grader this year. And my older daughter Maggie, she's always been a really self-motivated kind of kid. So she's keeping up. Oh, you're going to hear my dogs. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem at all.
She's been very self-motivated when it comes to getting anything done. So she's not struggling so much, although the fact that she's taken 4 AP courses this year is really challenging her with this online learning. My younger daughter, Abby, the 8th grader, she still struggles a lot with making sure she manages her time wisely and getting stuff done and all that. And I'm going to let my dog out now before she starts barking.
Fine. Go right ahead. That's why I don't bring my dog to work anymore, because I used to bring my dog to work and then she just started barking all the time.
Yeah. Oh, and now the other one wants out. So far, I think this is going really well, don't you?
This is going great. No, we're fine. We are, as I said, this is free form. We don't judge.
No plan.
Yeah, it's just perfectly fine. Yeah. So I know that Autumn actually, in some ways, is enjoying the online learning because she gets to rewatch stuff that she didn't get the first time. So she's actually doing okay. My 2 oldest, Noah, is in his first senior year at Capital University as a music major. Obviously it's conservatory, so he's going to be the 5-year guy. And he's done and he's gotten through that. My other one's a pilot, is working to be a pilot. And so he actually just took his test with Haskell yesterday to get his year done that way. But you know, we had to fight to get that done because there's a window that you can do it in, and if you don't get it done, then you have to retake all the stuff.
Right.
Like, now, wait a minute, how are we doing this? So they actually did make it all work out. They went up to Butler. That is going to open up a little bit. We're completely shut down here in Beaver County and Allegheny County, where our 2 stores are. But
Yeah.
that's what it is. So what are you doing? How are you dealing with your classwork? That's going to be the next big question, right? Is how are you dealing with that?
It's
So how soon did you guys go online, and how soon did you have to figure out how to do this?
we were told on Friday that we were going to start online instruction on Monday. And so I quickly put together as many rehearsal tracks for things as I could, because, at the time we had no idea how long this was going to go on. So preparing for our end of the year concert and all of that kind of thing, I just threw rehearsal tracks and PDFs of the music online and said, get to work. And when we get back, we'll be able to jump right back in where we left off. And then it just kept going and going, and it became apparent that there would be no end of the year concert. And so I've changed up the assignments. There's more of a focus now on being consumers of music, I guess, rather than trying to be performers right now. Just doing some YouTube video comparisons and talking about, I've been sharing with them some of my favorite music and asking them to share with me some of their favorite music. I've learned a whole lot more music than I thought I knew.
Are they
Getting to know like all the new trends and stuff. Like,
exactly. And some of it I love, and some of it I'm like, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Have they shared with you their TikToks? That's the next question. So.
Oh, buddy, I have a TikTok account. I have 2 teenage daughters. Yes, I do. I don't create videos.
Oh, you don't. You just have to watch them going on. No, I'm doing ours through the Bright Music Center TikTok. So we also have a TikTok channel that I don't post enough on. Not enough content, according to Gary V, who is a guy I watch that says you should be posting 4 times a day, and I'm like, oh, I can't. No.
That's ambitious.
I'm old. I'm not dancing. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Maybe I can but that's about it. And, so there's a lot of that. But no, it's very interesting the way that this suddenly just occurred, and everybody's trying to work out what to do and where to go and how to disseminate information and things like that. And it's really a challenge for educators, especially because nobody was ready for this. And nobody would ever thought that we would just shut down. And nobody was ready for it. And so it is a challenge to be able to engage your students and get your students to do stuff. And I know that in our situation with Blackhawk, they went online. They were lucky because they were part of an initiative that was going to let them do flexible instruction days, so that if there was a snow day, they could just teach. They had this online content, and they were supposed to have 5 days of content created. So they actually had 5 days of content already created. Of course, the first day was, can you answer this test?
Right.
Yes. Bonus points.
No, but wait, what if they said no?
That's a good question. Got home detention.
Yeah. Okay.
We've been doing fire drills just for fun. We live in a very small house. I mean, you've seen our house, Jen. It's a very small ranch. It's 3-bedroom. It's you can walk from one end to the other in about 22 steps, and there's 5 adults and a dog in this little space. So yeah, we have to do stuff like that just to keep ourselves sane a little bit. So we do stuff like that. But
that's adorable.
It is adorable, aren't we adorable? But where else was it going? So are you involved with the High School Musical at all?
Yes, we were scheduled to do Guys and Dolls this year. It was supposed to be 3 weeks ago, and unfortunately, that just was one of those things that had to go by the wayside. It's a real shame because we had a new. I'm the musical director, but we have a new theater director this year. She's young. She's really ambitious. She was doing a great job, and the kids were really buying into the whole thing. And then, so we'll go back next year and we'll start all over again, and it'll be great.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of, I mean, I run sound for a lot of musical theater productions. In fact, I had 10 productions on my schedule this year to do, and I think I got
Wow.
through. Yeah, it's bad. I one of the things that still is wrong with me is that I haven't figured out how to say no. Uh, that's still a problem that I have. But yeah, so I was actually scheduled to do 10. I think I got through 5 before the whole thing shut down. And then we've been scrambling trying to figure out if there's a way to do it during the summer, if there's a way to do it here and there, but it's not going to happen. I mean, it's really sad for the kids that are seniors that have worked so hard on the productions. And we had a situation where I was actually scheduled 1 week at one school district and another week in our home school district, and they share a superintendent. So I was called that Thursday during dress rehearsal, or actually Wednesday during dress rehearsal, and was told by the superintendent that I was going to run sound at the one place Friday night and Saturday for a matinee, and then I was going to tear it all down and move to the other place and run sound there Saturday night and Sunday, 2 shows. Now
Oh,
I never run sound with the cast at Blackhawk for Friday night, but it was Cinderella. I've done that a bunch of times, so it flows pretty easy. And I have almost 300 shows under my belt at this point. So that wasn't the problem, but there was a lot of animosity between the two school districts because I was pulled and was put over
right.
here, and I'm like, look, I'm just doing what I was told to do. We're trying to get everybody's show in so that they can have this opportunity, and at that point it was like, oh, we're going to be open in 2 weeks anyways, so what's this big deal? And but I knew in the back of my head that it was going to be longer than 2 weeks. um
Yeah.
Mhm.
so it's just been a struggle, and it's really sad that didn't happen. But as I've told my kids, and I've told anybody that I've talked to, is that you need to remember that this is a blip. This is just a short little period of time in your life. This whole thing is going to be 0.009% of what happens in your life. And
Right.
yeah, it's tragic right now. Like my daughter missed prom, my daughter is missing her graduation, all this stuff. And I understand it's very upsetting, but it's just a blip. And enjoy what you can. And my thing is that, to me, it's been a nice little break because I was working 80 hours a week and
Mhm.
was never home and was always going and was always running sound and always doing this other stuff. And so it's actually made me pause and look at stuff and look at what's around me and look at who's around me and get to spend time with my kids that are all older and are going to be gone soon and stuff like that I wouldn't have had an opportunity to do. And so I'm in a nice place because I'm like, this has been okay.
Yeah.
So, and in the store surviving, and we'll be back, and no problems there. So, and I'll get all my staff back, which I miss them all dearly, and can't wait for them to come back, and be a family again, and it it'll all be okay. So I'm actually in a really good place. But yeah, I just hope that people can realize that the things that come out of it are that you realize that everything will be okay and everybody will be good. And I hope that kindness comes out of it because I do see a lot of people getting a little frustrated and a little, bottled up and stuff like that. If we can just all be a little bit kinder to each other, that would be awesome.
That was a really nice way to say that because, yes, when you look online and you see some of the things that people are posting and some of, at the very beginning, there was a lot more kindness and a lot more thoughtfulness. And it seems like the longer we are locked down, the harder it is for people to remember that. But you're right. I hope that in the end, when we're able to be together again, people will remember that.
Oh yeah, and then they should.
Mhm.
And I don't care what side of the political fence you're on. Just stop it.
Yes.
Seriously, just stop it. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody's good.
Mhm.
Nothing's good. No, just realize that. No, just be nice. That's all I want. Seriously, I don't want people. And I've had to block a whole bunch of people on Facebook lately. But anyways, so we sent you some coffee. Are you drinking some coffee?
I am. I decided to go with the chocolate coconut. Man, that's like drinking a candy bar. It is fantastic.
It's good.
Yes.
We love Howling Grounds.
It's so good.
They're our unofficial sponsor.
All right.
Yeah, they don't actually really sponsor us. It's just right down the street. But I help them out by buying coffee and sending it to people, and I buy coffee every day. So I drink cold brew is all I get every day. So.
I'm super lame, and I'm drinking McDonald's coffee because that's what happened today.
Seriously?
I know, it just happened, and here we are. But I have been drinking their Eric's Gourmet brew the past few days. I'm doing it as like a drip coffee in the Ket Mix. So, and it's been amazing. But anyways, I love things. And I've been drinking their matcha. It's fantastic. But so we were talking about time and like having like more time for things. Kristi, are you finding more like any new like resources for either like the choral side or like just things in your classroom, like while you have the time?
I have found actually a few things that I really like. Luckily I had started this program, Sight Reading Factory, this year with my students. It's really well known for a lot of choral directors. It's an app that kids can use on their phone or on their computer, and it helps them with their sight reading skills. So I've been delving more into that with the extra time to figure out how to better use that resource with them. And it's been a godsend. I mean, it's kind of turned around a lot of kids who said, "Oh, I just don't understand. I can't figure this out." So that's been really wonderful. And
I haven't even heard of that app.
Oh, it's fantastic. Every choir director on the planet ought to be using this. And I held out for a long time with a lot of friends saying, "Oh, you should try it. It'll really help." And it's an app. How's that going to help kids sight read? But it's amazing.
Huh. Yeah, see, that's why we wanted to have you on, was because we've had a lot of band and orchestra people on, and we've been getting like, "Hey, what about the choral people?" And I said, "Well, who do I know?"
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, there are a bunch of good apps out there. That's one I haven't heard of either. So that's very cool. We'll pass that information along to our choir people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Sorry, I have to take a drink.
I get that.
Go ahead.
So I was just gonna ask, like, so like your choir, are you doing any like pieces or just like fun songs, or have you dived deep into any sort of like virtual choir thing? I know it's like a maybe from some teachers or not. It's a hot take.
People are very divided on the idea of virtual choir. And pardon me again, now my dogs went back in.
That's fine.
I'm here. I'm right beside the door, so it's easier. Oh, Lord. I love the idea of the virtual choir. I am not technically skilled enough to do a good job with it, and I know that. Now, I'm also a church organist, and we've been doing online services, and we have a person who's on our music team who is so good at this. And so he's put together a lot of virtual choir things for hymns and things like that for our services. And they've turned out okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of things that can go really, really wrong. And there's a lot of time involved for very little payoff, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, we had John Milzak on from Note Flight, who was talking about just that thing. And he was saying that, okay, is it really worth you investing 24 hours of your time into doing that to get a virtual choir thing going, or a virtual band thing, or whatever? Or is it better to take that 24 hours and invest it in like finding media that the kids can watch, finding things that they can do? We have some teachers that are doing one-on-one lessons with their students. Because, anybody that's interested, it's like, look, I'll give you a half an hour lesson. Just Jennifer left.
She got tired of this whole thing.
Her connection is sometimes, she's moved into a new place, and her connection is sometimes She'll be back in a minute. But yeah, so we're having that happen. And hi. And
Hey.
as I said, it's just completely whatever. But yeah, so we've had some people doing that. We've had some people not doing anything, which is the amazing thing to me, that we've had just some people just shut down and go, yeah, nope, done. Return your instrument.
Wow.
It's like, that's a choice. And I understand that it's a challenge. And once again, everybody else thought it was going to be 3 or 4 weeks and we'll be done and everything will be great. But what we're looking at is into next year. What does that look like? What does rehearsal look like? What does and one of the other things that John said, which was very, very informative, that if you have a chance to get on your state's reopening committee, you need to get on it.
Yeah.
And you need to be in that contact, and you need to be the person that goes to the administration and says, hey, yeah, you do what you need to do. I'll take over my side. I'm nothing to worry about, so that you don't worry about getting cut, because you're the last thought. You're the last. Seriously, this is bottom of the list. We're not thinking about that.
Right.
So it's a matter of getting in front of them and saying, hey, look, we can take care of this. We can do that. I know the CDC and NAFME just came out with a guideline that actually said singing is actually one of the safest of all these, because the if they do have the virus, it is actually trapped in the vocal cords while you sing.
So when we go out and interact with people now, we should sing everything.
If you don't want to wear a mask, it becomes a Broadway musical, right?
A literal live musical. That's fantastic.
Awesome. I want to do that. Which, yes. So
just see all the theater people running around everywhere. Just like
one of the things I found during this COVID is a musical called The Prom, and I finally found the role that I want to do. I want to be Barry.
Good.
I want to be Barry. I think that would be awesome. We're recording one of the songs from The Prom next week, or maybe this week. There's that We Look to You. I don't know if you're familiar with The Prom, but there's a song that Noah's arranged for piano, cello, viola, clarinet, and we're going to record that next week, and I'll sing, because that's what I do. And which, by the way, Kristi was seriously the best accompanist I've ever had. She played my scene recital with me, and yeah.
You're really kind. I appreciate that. I always enjoyed playing for you. It was always just a treat.
Fun. Yeah, no, it was always good. So it's nice that I'm actually getting back into it a little bit and doing some stuff. I've posted a couple things during this quarantine, and we're going to do some more stuff as we go forward. Just because. But yes, I want to be Barry from The Prom. So Jen, what would your favorite role be? Which role?
In what? In prom?
Or
in prom or in Broadway musical?
In a Broadway musical history, what would be the role that you would most like?
Oh, there's a laundry list of them.
Okay, you can pick one.
Oh gosh. Well, not really. I don't. See, that's a big thing, right? That'll take me a few minutes to answer, because it always switches back and forth. But I will tell you the musical that I've always wanted to play for. I've always wanted to play the Lion King book for flute and pick, because I don't play any other woodwind instruments really well. But I love that music, and it's fantastic. So, yeah,
good stuff. And Kristi?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know that I could pick.
It's so hard.
A show or a role, honestly. I'll tell you what, though, the show that I'm most sad about, let me back up. Okay. My top choir was going to be traveling to Toronto this year in June. That was our plan. That's obviously been canceled. But while we were there, we were going to finally get to see the show Come From Away, which I was dying to see, and my kids were dying to see it. And now, that's been pushed off, but it's pushed off. But like that's a show that I've always wanted to see. I've never been all that comfortable on stage. I don't know that there's a role I'd want to play. there's just a whole list of shows that I would love to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what show? If you could pick one show, you've seen Hamilton, right?
Of course. Yes. Yeah. Love that.
Love that. Yeah, I saw that.
I Come From Away is at the top of my list of shows that I haven't seen that I really want to see live.
Yeah,
now.
The music is great from that. I haven't seen that either. But yeah, my least favorite show. No, I'm not gonna do, is.
Here's a hot take. What are your opinions about Cats?
So next subject.
The movie, it was wonderful.
During this whole month, in a bit of quarantine, I've just been full of hot takes.
That's fun. That's lovely.
Come
up with more. That's awesome. No, the movie version of Cats was probably the worst thing that was ever produced.
I still haven't seen it.
What?
I still haven't seen the movie version.
Well, I think it's on Disney Plus. I don't know if it is or not.
I don't
know. No. I mean, I'm tired of Bye Bye Birdie because it's dated at this point. But it's a good show. But it's dated. I was supposed to actually run sound for Newsies, and I was actually really excited about that. One of our local school districts, Beaver Falls, has an amazing director and cast. And the greatest thing about this school is that the cast is more boys than girls, and most of the football team.
Nice.
Yeah. And these guys can sing and dance, and it's just nuts. And I was so looking forward to them doing Newsies because that was going to be a good time. And they pulled off some big stuff. They did Les Mis last year, and had the two guys that could actually cover the parts. Actually, the three guys that could cover the parts, and it was just nuts. So yeah, I'm sad for them. And I'm sad for all the schools that didn't get a chance to do their musicals. But there's more opportunity. As I said to Autumn got to do her show. She was in the ensemble for Cinderella. And as I said to her, though, she gets to go to a school that has a marching band, so she can march. It has a theater department. She can be involved. And and there's bigger, better things ahead. But, it's just one of those things.
So circling back around to the dream role, as soon as he said Newsies, I was like, yes, wait, that's what I was missing. I just want to be a newsie because I just want to be able to dance just top notch like that. Like all the choreography. That's probably my favorite choreography of all time. Like it's just amazing. Because I'm not a singer, so yeah. I could just dance. Just have fun.
I'm not a dancer. No. When I was in fact, one of my friends, the director that I worked with in both high school and college, I did Jesus Christ Superstar. I was Herod twice. Once in 1988, 86, 87, somewhere in there, and then 30 years later. She called me up and asked me to do it again. She was posting memories from that. But when I wasn't Herod, I was one of the guys that was just around, and they put me in the idiot dancer center. Who was like step, because I would hurt myself and other people around me. Not the most coordinated guy in the room, which is okay. This is a lot. But yeah, I actually do miss doing theater now that they've gotten me into this place where I'm running sound all the time. Even the local theater company that I run sound for, I'm just the sound guy now, which is fine. I get to be involved and I get to be around people, and I think the process is really neat. I think that's what I really find fascinating with the whole thing, that you walk in on a Monday or a Saturday for a tech rehearsal, and it looks like a train wreck. Mm-hmm. And then as the week goes along, it gets better and better, and things tighten up. And by the time the show opens, it's a good show. And so the process is really neat, which is why I still do it, because it is a lot of work. If you've never run sound for a musical, it's we run 30 wireless microphones, and
wow.
I've got. was one of those things. We started out with like 8, and then it was like, oh well, okay, let's go to 12, and it was like, okay, 16. Well, okay, I can't hear little Timmy's line when he says, "Hey, the Wells Fargo wagon," and so I'm like, okay, so now we're at 24. Well, the ensemble could be louder. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now. Is 30 channels of wireless is most of the shows. And
I wish we had 30 wireless mics for our productions. We work with, I think we have 8. And so, you mic the main characters, and we have a really wonderful theater tech teacher who has students actually run all of the sound for our shows, and they get a lot of experience out of that, and they get a lot of good things. But they only turn the mics on for the songs, so there will be times where you'll lose the first half of the first verse because they're like, "Oh, yeah, I got to turn that on." Or after the song's over, the lines are really loud, and then they remember to mute them again. But that's okay too, because that's for high school. That's all part of the process. And if we can have kids involved in that end of it too,
right? And that's cool. We do have I have several school districts that will hire a lighting designer, but then they have kids run the go buttons, right? So and that's great. And and if they would be willing to, and there's actually a new program out there called it's not new. It's been around for a while. There's a program called Palladium that runs a soundboard like a lighting board.
Really?
So somebody programs it, and then it's a go button, and it triggers sound effects, and it triggers everything. It just goes right through like it's a lighting board. So kids could get more involved, even with higher channel counts, if you have the right equipment to do it. But yeah, I haven't gotten into that because I'm old school. I like to ride the faders. Yeah. So, but I have a couple of friends that use that all the time and say it works awesome. Yeah. So, but it's, I mean, in some ways, musical theater budgets around here were severely affected by awards. So we have the Mancini Awards here in Beaver County. There's the what's the one in Pittsburgh? I forget. The Gene Kelly Awards in Pittsburgh. And so some of these budgets are like $100,000, 80. I know. Isn't it? I mean, even
you don't want to know what mine is.
It's crazy. Some of these budgets are just nuts, and it's great. If they can afford it and they can do that kind of stuff, and it's a great experience for the kids. And I mean, I know, some of these schools, I know the lighting designers that come in there, and I know what they charge, and it's like, holy crud. And then the whole school's filled with fog. That happened during Fiddler on the Roof. They were using haze, and the whole building actually just filled up with fog. So there's fog everywhere. You can't really go anywhere because you can't see, But it was nice. I mean, and it's beautiful and it's nice. But in some ways, that shouldn't be the end goal, right? The end goal should be the educational value for the children, because it is an educational thing. It's a teamwork thing. It's learning how to work with a group. It's learning how to do things that you're maybe not comfortable with. It can be a very good experience. So, but yeah, it kind of got a little out of control here. Now it's backed off a little bit lately with budget cuts and all that other stuff. But I don't know. There's my rant about that. So that's what I got.
So the thing to take from the theater conversation is that you should all be singing in daily life out on the streets, because the virus stays in the vocal cords. That's what
right.
that's very important thing to round back to you.
Right.
Full circle there.
That is the takeaway. And that I do that. I sing around here all the time.
Yeah.
So I
just love that little fact.
I made up a song because I got a dresser, and I was very happy about getting a dresser, and it's weird, but yeah. So you're singing, you weren't here for that. That was me and Jennifer Pritchard. But yeah, no, we make up songs all the time. So we'll just keep doing that.
Yes.
it'll be better for that. We'll put it on the door. If you want to come in, you have to sing everything that you're going to do. Yeah, because I actually read an article yesterday about a proposal in, I think, Spain about how to do concerts. So what their thought is that you would seat everybody, like let's say Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh. You'd seat everybody every other row and then 3 seats apart in the audience. Now on the stage would be the conductor and the percussionist and the string players in masks on the stage. The brass would be up in the balcony.
What?
This doesn't have trouble written all over it at all.
I know. I mean, these are professionals, so maybe it'll still be bad. But what pieces are you going to do that? Yeah. So everybody's struggling with what all this stuff looks like and what all this, Oh, by the way, Jen, Couchman is going to be making a 6 feet apart World Championships T-shirt.
Fantastic. I know, because did you see the Wikipedia page?
Yes,
for DCI.
Yeah, so we follow
2020
DCI a lot. And there's a fake DCI drum corps called Couchman. So it was started by a guy that was in one of the corps. But it actually, somebody got to the Wikipedia page and put them in as the 2020 championship winner with the show 6 feet apart. So
love that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we are it's raining virus spit. I think that was a response to our that's right, because they'd be in the balcony and
okay. Like, what?
I'm trying to figure out how all of it works. I mean, I want to figure out how anything works, because and then you get school buses, right? How are you gonna do school buses?
We've actually had conversations about that here already, about what that's going to be in the fall, and they were talking about one student per seat, every other seat alternating throughout the bus. Well, you're gonna have what, 14 kids per bus?
Right.
That's gonna take forever. You're gonna have to start those routes at like 3 a.m. to get everybody to school.
Yep. I know that South Carolina is talking about not going back until 2021. Yeah.
Please stop. I can't.
I'm sorry.
Literally can't.
I apologize. Yeah. This and these are the conversations that are being had, because you need to look at all the scenarios, right? So because then there was a report that came out, and I don't know how true it was or whatever it was, that said that kids can't actually transmit the virus. They can get the virus, but they can't. But I don't think they know. And but if that's the situation, then okay, fine, send them all to school. If that's true, right? Because my fear is that okay, kids don't get as sick and don't have these other problems, majority, but you're going to be infecting teachers who are any age that they are, and that's the problem. It's not the kids as much as it's everybody around them. I know our school has been kicking around the half day thing, so you get half the kids in the morning, half the kids in the afternoon, no lunch, just to get congregating out of the way. I'm glad that I don't have to make these decisions, right?
I
mean, I got to figure out what our store is going to look like when it opens. We actually had our store disinfected yesterday with a treatment that lasts 90 days. We were trying to get ahead of the opening because we're hoping by the end of the month we might be open. We were hoping to get ahead of that because we knew towards the end of the month, if they said we were going to open, everybody would be calling for treatment.
Yeah.
So we did that. We have hand sanitizer coming. I have masks coming. I have, so we're trying to figure out just what this little place looks like, let alone what a school looks like. I wouldn't want that responsibility at all.
No. There are many times that I've said I wouldn't do an administrator's job for all the money in the world, and this is one of those times.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some tough decisions ahead, and there's some tough stuff going on, and I'm in a good place. I get to help people make music and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's all we do. So we're simple. And we will be open again, and really can't wait. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm tired of not seeing people. That is one of the other things that has come out with this with me is the human need for humans. I mean, that has been, and stuff like this is great, right? I haven't talked to you in like 20, it's got to be like 25 years. We saw each other at a reunion or something.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
And it's great that we can connect and see each other and talk and stuff like that. And I've been reaching out to a lot of people that I haven't reached out to because I need that human interaction. I need that to talking to other people because you can't do it by yourself. So yeah. So I mean, so people are realizing that. I think people are realizing. I don't know what they're realizing. I mean, I drive by a Home Depot and there's 5,000 people there, and it's like I understand. I had to put in a kitchen floor. I had to get out of the house because the honey-do list was getting too long, and but we put a kitchen floor, and I understand that. But it seems like everybody's just trying to get projects done and stuff like that, which is good, great for them.
Well, you have all this time on your hands and you're in your house and you start looking around. I'm guilty of that too. I start looking around going, well, I could paint that. I could replace that, stuff that if you were just living your normal life before all this happened, you wouldn't even notice because you wouldn't have time.
Right. That is exactly right. Yeah. And you've got kids at home so they can paint too. So
yeah.
Put them to work and give them something to do.
Yeah.
My kids don't do anything. That's not true. They're really good at video games at this point.
Have they been playing Animal Crossing?
No, they do have Switches though. So
okay,
but they haven't been playing Animal Crossing. Gabriel's the one. He just likes to kill stuff. So that's the way he's always been. And in fact, he told my mother that he's like, thanks, Grandma. She got him some game like Call of Duty or whatever it was. And when he was like 12 or something, one of these mature games. And he goes, thanks, Grandma. I really like killing stuff.
Gabe.
Yep. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. My kids have a bunch
Well,
of one-liners. Yes.
So as we're starting to wrap up and stuff, Kristi, is there anything else that you'd like to, I guess, like put out there, like words of wisdom, knowledge from the choral side, or anything like that for anybody who may be watching?
Well, you might have the wrong person on this show if you're looking for words of wisdom. But
I don't know what even is wisdom anymore. Like mine is like, I don't know, go outside maybe.
I think all of us who are in education in any way, we're being told a lot to grade with grace for our kids, to ask them to do things that are meaningful and to do things that are going to be helpful to them, but be understanding that maybe they're not going to get things done. Maybe they have a situation where things aren't ideal and they're struggling too. And I think it's easy to remember to tell the kids everything's going to be okay, but sometimes it's hard for us to remember that maybe we ought to grade ourselves with a little grace too. And to know that, maybe you're not doing a virtual choir. Maybe you're not out there doing a lot of time researching things or making plans, and that's okay too. Like that taking care of yourself right now is just as important, and knowing that eventually things will come back and we'll be able to have something resembling a normal life again, and that our programs will survive this, our students will survive this, and so will we.
Right. Yeah, one of the things that the other thing that I hope comes out of this is more respect for educators. Now that parents are educating at home, and you don't know where students are. And the other thing that we need to look at too is how broken the food system is and how broken things like that are, because we don't know. I mean, all of a sudden, all these kids are just home, and a lot of times those kids, home is school. Mm-hmm. And those kids, need to grace and kindness and all that stuff to make sure that, and that's perfectly right. Yeah, everybody that I've talked to, we've talked to, has been like, okay, you can do one of these 4 assignments, and some of them are not online at all. Some of them, because some of these kids are at home, and their parents are at home because they're either laid off or working from home, and so they're not allowed to practice because dad's working and stuff like that. So you don't know where anybody is in that whole scale. And hopefully we can learn better where people are and actually be able to create a better system for dealing with kids and in more respect for teachers, because everybody's getting the idea that this isn't easy.
Yeah.
So, but we've always known that. We always know that, teachers work harder than people realize. So, all right. So do we want to wrap up, Jen?
Sure.
Yes. Sure. Well, I want to thank Kristi again for coming on. It was great seeing you. I really appreciate you. And it's been fantastic. And we are going to have a virtual cocktail hour eventually. Probably not broadcast.
That'd be interesting.
Could be. But yeah, we're talking about that. So I'll invite you to that if you want to come and hang out for a little bit with that.
Sure.
So I really appreciate you. We're going to end today. And tomorrow we have Melissa. From yes, from CA House, one of our NAM friends. She actually runs a music store over in Ohio. They have 4 locations over in Ohio, and great friends of ours. So she'll be on with us tomorrow at 2.
2, yes.
2, thanks. I appreciate it. She keeps me on track.
Yeah. And today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, just letting everybody know.
It is Tuesday. Thanks. Yeah. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I have no idea. All right. And we'll see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate you so much. I really, really do. It was